we are going to work with FullProof. So FullProof is a way we can use a online website to help us with our geometry proofs. It's really helpful because it gives us a list of statements and reasons to pull from, and it's a great resource for us to use. I want you to remember, if you ever get stuck while using this program, you can use the hints that they offer, and obviously use these videos as a way to help you learn and get more comfortable with this website. Today we're going to learn how to use trig ratios to find missing sides in right triangles. Specifically, we're going to be working with sine functions. So let's go ahead and start with this textbook in FullProof, and we're going to go into chapter 16 and enter the sine function problems. And here we are. All right, so we're in question number 1. What is given? So what we are given is that triangle ABC is right, meaning angle B is the right angle of 90 degrees. We also know that angle BAC right down here is 55 degrees. The line segment AC is 9, that's also the hypotenuse, and they just want us to denote the segment BC as A. The reason they did that is because our goal is to find the measure of A, so we're trying to find the measure of segment BC. The first thing I'm going to do over here is just restate something we already know. I'm just going to restate that angle BAC, so I'm highlighting that angle A. BAC is 55 degrees. I'm just restating that since that's something we're about to use after the next step. Because that's already been given, I'm writing my reason as given. All right, now it's time to use some of that new knowledge that we learned earlier. So earlier, we learned that anytime you're trying to find the sine of an angle, you can take the segment that is opposite the angle and the hypotenuse of the triangle, and you can manipulate it using some algebra. So let's go ahead and look at angle A down here. All right, we're going to go to the angle opposite angle A. That takes us to BC, and then the hypotenuse is this segment over here, AC. So let's go ahead and write that in our statement. Again, we're doing sine. We are doing sine of angle BAC is equal to, again, opposite over hypotenuse. So this is segment BC over, I just hit the division key on my keyboard, AC. All right, that's my statement. Now, what was my reasoning behind this? Well, let's go ahead and just type in the word sine, and let's see which one matches what we're trying to get to the best. In a right triangle, the sine of an angle is the ratio of the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. That's exactly what we learned earlier in the class period. So we're going to select that one and select the triangle we're working with. Perfect. All right. So let's just restate what we already said, combining these two statements. So let's now say, instead of saying sine of BAC, let's just call it sine of 55 degrees. And let's just restate some information. Sine of 55 equals BC divided by AC. And we're just going to call this algebra, calculation, substitution. All we did was substitute our given statement into what we stated. All right. So now let's substitute more. So let's substitute in sine sine 55 degrees equals, and now let's substitute these segments. So segment BC is actually A, and segment AC is 9. So again, this was just some more substitution. All right, moving some of this around, I'm going to multiply the 9 by both sides to get it out of my denominator. So this will end up looking like A equals 9 sine 55 degrees. Again, this is just more algebra, more substitution. Deleting some of these extra lines I accidentally added. All right, and I'm gonna pull my calculator out, and I'm gonna find, if I plug this properly into my calculator, that A equals 7.37. This is, it says QED down here because this was my end goal. This is exactly what we wanted to figure out. We wanted to find the measure of A, which was the segment BC. So since that's what we wrote down here, the program knows, and it's saying, hey, this is my last statement, so I can delete this last line. And again, it was just some more calculations. All right, let's go ahead and check to make sure we did our work correctly. And that is it. We got 3 stars. This is a correct proof. I hope you learned from this lesson, and go ahead and continue looking at the different FullProof problems they have to offer. And finally, don't forget about our discussion board that is due today after class to make sure that you understood sine, cosine, and tangent, and that you're reflecting on what you have learned.